There you go.
All right. Let me get this. Try to get this shared over on the other page.
All right, so it is a Saturday. I almost said Friday, Saturday, and so this is the NSKA Central preview show of the Greers Ferry Tournament. We have Garrett Morgan on here with us tonight. He's going to be, he's the pro angler here, the bass master assassin here. He's going to go over the lake with us and some of the stuff that's coming up. Tomorrow is the first tournament of the year for the NSKA.
Bro, I'm not getting it. You sharing this on Facebook?
Hold on 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Is it on your personal page? I'm probably just share it from there.
Should be on all of it now.
Dude, you kind of have become a little tech savvy over here. You ought to see this guy behind the computer
Now it's
screen at
on
this
there.
point. Hold on, give us a second. A little technical difficulties. Trying to get this shared over to the. Oh, there it went. Oh, about the time I clicked off of it. Here we go. All right, go to group. All right. Let's make sure it went over there. Get our folks on. All right, we're on there. We're live on Channel 5, baby. All right. So hey, it's been a little bit since been back on the show. You've done a little fishing today.
Did a little fishing. We had a boat tournament on Nimrod today. It was wet. Had a great storm. Got setting on. Cool. Had a great storm coming in the day. Me and Gordon had a little over 13-pound sack, and from what I was gathering, this past weekend they had a firefighter tournament or something out there, Tuesday night tournament, whatever they have, and a 15-pound sack won it.
So y'all really kind of right there in the mix where you wanted to
So when we
be.
was like kind of at the end of the day and was like, man, I think we got 13 pounds. I was like, we should be in the money. And needless to say, 13-pound bag got us fifth. First place was 19. Second place was either 17 or 18. That kind of went down. But the big bass today was almost 6 pounds.
I believe it out there.
And
And
that water temp was 62.
oh, let's
So
go. We got Nimrod coming up. I think next
mm,
month or somewhere in there, maybe May. That's always a big event for us.
mm.
Usually takes a big bag to win it as well. So congrats on that. I saw it looked like it got a little sporty on y'all early. I saw your parking lot video. It looked pretty daggum wet. I was kind of glad that we ended up postponing to Sunday. If anybody's seen the pictures from my neighborhood,
Yeah, dude,
it,
it
it
was
got pretty bad in my neighborhood. We've lost a few trees.
so
Someone's fence was out in the road. My part of my fence blew over. So probably was the right
Um,
call on that deal.
I think so. Of course, out there we didn't launch until 8. We took off at 8. The tournament day was 8 to 4. Rained heavy. It started. We delayed it because of the lightning and stuff because of that front come through about 7. But dude, everybody out there today. Oh, I'll say everybody out there. Everybody, I think, but 1 or 2 boats had a limit of 5 fish,
Yeah.
and they were solid. So it might have just been Nimrod. I don't know if it was all over. I don't know if it was that front. But there was fish actually chewing today. And the funny thing is, in this bass term, me, I always catch trash fish, and I ended up catching crappie. And one of those crappie, which I just posted on the page, was a 2.5 pound crappie. So I did keep
Nice.
it. I did fillet it, and we are going to eat that tomorrow
There you go, man.
night.
Well, congrats for you and Gordon. I get you some good points
Mm,
in your little Harris Break Club there. Of course, we all fish with y'all, so we'll keep up with it, see how it goes. Where y'all go next?
Harris Break.
All
We're
right.
on Harris
Well, that's
Break
Gordon's
next.
home lake.
So
Well, now that we got some folks on the show,
there we go.
let's give them what they want, baby. Hey, we're here to talk about Greers Ferry South. Um, the event tomorrow.
It's that time.
It is finally here. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long off season for everybody. We did a few yak pots here and there. Had some folks out. As it stands right now, we got 20 anglers signed up, and I think that's with everybody pulled out that said they weren't going to be able
Mm.
to make it tomorrow. Weather's looking good, looks clear. We're going to have some sunny skies. Probably going to have some water running in the backs of the creeks. The good news about that is it should be warm water. I mean, it was warm most of the day
Mhm.
today. That was really a warm rain. And a lot of these lakes, these highland reservoirs, if you get a warm, muddy water coming into an area that's generally um, clean, clear, you'll have fish run to that.
Yeah,
So
there were several spots today with the water running in. There was fish there,
yeah,
and you're exactly right. It was warm rain. So that's why I don't think it didn't even affect the water temp much today. So yeah, looking at the weather on here, man, the weather's supposed to be perfect tomorrow. But do not forget daylight savings time.
right. That's why we left the times the same. Like, we didn't wanna confuse anybody, and it's like, when you move an event, that's bad enough to start with. I hate doing
Right.
that. Anybody that's ever fished with me knows I hate that. But it absolutely was the right call. But then I was like, "Man, we can't change the times too." We'll have somebody so mad at us when they realize that, daylight savings time, but if we just left it the same, I figured we'd not have as many issues since everybody's cell phone resets itself.
Right.
We'll be good to go. Plus, man, that gives people time to travel up in the daylight a little bit as well, unload in the daylight and get out there. So we're going to launch at 6:30 tomorrow. First cast is going to be at 7. We're going to fish all the way till 3, and then at 3:30 um, is the last time frame to submit your photo. So if you're having challenges getting service out on the lake, plan to be able to get back in time to get in your truck and get somewhere where you can get some service and get your last fish uploaded before 3:30. And then
Mm.
after all that's said and done, everybody's loaded up. We're going to head over to Las Plalitas, I believe is what it's called, over there in Greers Ferry.
Yeah.
I posted that on the page. It's a Mexican restaurant. I called them Thursday, asked them if they had enough room for 20 of us. I'm not sure the guy understood what I was saying. He just kept saying, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and I was like, "All right, well, we'll be there." So, but I
Right.
talked to David Hoka, who lives up that way. He said they got plenty of
Good.
room. So we'll do awards there once folks arrive. Got some really nice
Mhm.
plaques.
I saw
Um,
that. Those look
yeah,
sharp.
dude, we're my man at
Those look
Billy's
really
Custom
sharp.
Trophies usually does us right. So he hooked us up with those. Appreciate our sponsor, Public Waters Outdoors,
Mhm.
for you know getting those taken care of for us. Was hoping to have Eddie on here. I think he got tied up on something. He's fished Greers quite a bit himself. I've been up there a ton. I don't know how much you have fished it. Um, I like Greers because I like fishing that rocky
Right.
stuff because I like to throw a jig.
I think on Greers for me, I think I've mostly fished the north end of the Narrows of Greers,
Yeah,
not so much the south. So when we put Greers on there and we had we divided north and south, I think that threw a lot of people off.
yeah. Well,
So
the lake is so big, well, first off, people gotta realize we're fishing one lake down right now,
right.
and we will be for another couple years. So, normally, Conway is a big part of what we do at NSKA Central. The Spangler is historically there. So we've had to kinda move some stuff around, and we've wanted to go back to trying to keep things within an hour, hour and a half of Conway. That seemed to be, the sweet spot, for us in the past, and Greers is a spot that's so big, you can have 2
Mm.
tournaments up there a year if you just kinda break it up like we've done. So the championship later in the year will be on the north side. The south side, let's talk about it a little bit. A
Okay.
lot of deep water, a lot of clear water most of the time. I don't know what that's gonna look like tomorrow. I know there's sections of it that no matter how hard it rains, it typically stays, pretty clean. Um, there's a lot of old river channels that you'll see up there in that south stretch, and you can identify those on maps. If you kind of think of what the letter C looks like, if you see a rocky bluff wall that's kind of a C shape there, that's probably an old river channel of some sort or an old creek channel. And wood tends to stack up in
Mm.
those spots. I learned that from watching some tournaments way up there on Bull Shoals, some old Bassmaster tournaments I'd watched where some guys are basically fighting over a spot up there, and that's kind of what they were talking about was how when things used to wash into the lake, they kind of get hung up in those corners and it just kind of stack up, make brush
Mm.
piles and good fish habitat. So that's something that, you know, if you hadn't looked for that in the past, or you don't, really have anything to go, those are areas that can lead you to some at least fish habitat where there's
Mm.
some good fish. Usually a lot of wood in those little corners. So get on Google Earth and do a little research, check those out.
Google Earth.
Yeah.
Google Earth can help you a lot, actually. So,
Yeah.
um, so as far as my knowledge on the south end of the lake we're on, I think almost every part of that lake has great cell phone reception.
There's one area that's a little sketch, although I will tell you, my little bit of pre fishing, I had better service than what I
Mm.
normally get up there in the past. Now I have a AT&T. I'm not sure what other people have, but AT&T seemed to be good, um, and I think it's a lot better than it used to be. I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I know they did a lot of work on the towers. Um, Sutton's saying the reception is decent. Yeah, so I'm kind of like you, Eric. Man, I don't think I've really paid a whole lot of. I mean, I fish in the south, man, but mainly all my good stuff has come from the north. So it'll be interesting.
Well,
Um,
I like the South for this reason. I like to catch smallmouth, and there's way more
I
smallmouth
was gonna say
on that
I've heard
south
the south has a
stretch.
lot of smallmouth.
Yeah.
So
So, you know, there's a couple different,
mm,
stretches that are pretty popular. Of course, everybody knows about the Narrows. There's Cove Creek, which has a lot of open water. There's usually some good schools of fish running around there. The problem is just finding them and knowing where they're going to be. If you do run into them, you can
mm,
usually find some good ones in some groups out there in that area. And then you got over by Cherokee, there's a lot of timber over in that section of the lake, just standing timber under the water. That was also kind of what led us to postponing it as well. Right now, a lot of that timber
mm,
had been exposed, so we didn't want the wind to blow somebody up against some of those
right.
treetops and flip them over, something like that. So there's opportunities to fish some boat docks as well in that
Hmm.
section, along with the Narrows has some boat slips there. Now I don't know what the rules are around there as far as fishing those. I know most of the lake, you can fish all the boat docks, around there. And then as you move towards Heber Springs, there's lots of bluff walls over in that section. There's some sneaky little places over by some of the swim beaches, where there's some brush, that can be really good, to fish as well. The dam, again, has just that old channel that runs through
Hmm.
there, lots of rock, that goes, that direction. And then you got Peter Creek, Little Peter Creek, that are generally pretty popular areas as well. A lot of boat traffic in some of those areas, so y'all be sure and keep your head on a swivel out there. The good thing is we'll be out during the day. We won't be out, when it's dark
Yeah.
out. So should run into too much problem with boats seeing us.
So water level. I know you're just out there. What's the water level?
It was low,
Low.
lower than
So
I've ever seen it. Now this rain, of course, will pick it up some. I like Greers to be a little bit dirty. I think it's just easier to catch fish.
okay.
So I don't know exactly what it's done. There's some sections of that lake that, you know, it's running in through the mountains and it's all rock and there's not much dirt anyways. All the erosion has happened over the years, so it doesn't really dirty up that much.
Hmm.
But then there's some sections where it still gets nice and muddy. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening out there. Um, Man, let's talk a little bit about some bait selection and
Some
what's been
baits.
hot out that way.
Okay.
I think you need to share what happened on Nimrod first. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a
Mm,
pattern that holds, but I think it's nice to know
mm.
what somebody won a tournament on today since you were there and heard the guys talking.
Yeah, that's true. So I think Nimrod sets up as far as the river system dirty and clean. I know it's not the same as Greers, but I think it has a lot in common as far as the bluff walls and things like that. Um, so it's that time of year where the fish is in that transition. You fish people want to fish deep, people want to fish shallow. Um, if you know me, I like the shallow stuff. But today we started off on a point just messing around because Nimrod was very, very low too. There were some spots I wanted to get to, but you can't because we're like looking at a half a foot or to a foot of water. So in a kayak, yes, we probably could have got to it, but being in a boat today, we couldn't. So you're kind of at that disadvantage, which probably at Greers tomorrow might be an advantage to be in a kayak on that. But anyways, the first fish this morning come off of a spinner bait in 1 foot of water off a point. And so, first fish of the day, it's hungry, reaction, really can't tell. Uh, but all five of our fish, and our smallest fish today was 2.5. And me and Gordon was talking, it would have been a great kayak bag because I think our smallest one was 18 inches.
Oh, nice.
And it
Yeah.
was all on a chatterbait. I mean, spinner bait. Sorry. I caught the crappie on a chatterbait. Gordon caught all the bass on a spinner bait. We'd end up catching I think 2 bass, but they maybe a pound, pound and a half on a lizard, Texas rig
Okay.
lizard. But everything was shallow. So, if you're a deep water fisherman, I'm not straying you from that or anything. You're playing tomorrow. But I'm just saying, as of today on Nimrod, first place won it off a spinner bait in 1 foot of water. And the guy said he just kept going back and forth and they kept restacking.
Nice. Man,
So,
I'd love to run into something like that tomorrow for sure. I like the fish shallow. Um, I'm planning on, running some timber. I'm gonna try the live scoping thing a little bit early, and then I'm probably gonna go throw a jig a little bit. Um, you know, I brought a few baits out here. Just give people a little bit of direction. If you're new to the lake, haven't fished with us, don't really know, kind of what you want to go do. I feel like these things can give you a little bit of success out there on Greers. Watercolor is going to matter. If you have clean, clear water, you want to go with an actual presentation as far as color. If you're wanting to throw a spinnerbait or chatterbait, go with an actual shad color of some sort. If you're in dirty stained water, you probably want to go with more of a white chartreuse pattern or a black and blue pattern of some sort, just so the fish can actually find that bait. Um, right now, also in dirty water, I brought out the
mm.
spring special, baby. If you find you some dirty water and you pull out the old fire tiger chatterbait here, I think you'll have a little success on that. Um, Another one that is going to be
Mm.
popular, I think, tomorrow is the rock crawler. So I can tell y'all, I caught fish on this in practice. Was not this color. I actually caught them on the white, sexy shag color, but the water was clear when I was up there. Tomorrow, if I run in that same stretch and it's dirty, I'll probably put this one on. But I don't think it really matters what color rock crawler um, you're throwing, as long as you're kind of hitting
Mm.
either timber or rock with it. I was getting bites when it was hitting timber and bouncing off of it. I was around some bluff walls and the timber. I was kind of throwing it in between them, and I really didn't throw that a whole lot. I mean, I probably threw it seriously 45 minutes and caught three fish. Um,
That's all you needed to know.
that's all I needed to know, right? So I kind of put that up.
Can't win a trophy
Um,
in
In
pre-fishing, so
practice, yeah. So, I feel like, if you have some rock crawlers, it might be worth
mm,
it a go, just to just cover water, especially if you haven't been
mm.
up there, just put your head down and go. Another bait that's always gonna catch fish on Greers, the old jig. So this is kind of um, a watermelon red type, um color here. Now, this time of year, you can start to get a little bit more wide with that flap there. That one's, a little close together. That's more of my winter jig setup. I like them to be a little tighter. If you're in clean water, that's going to catch you some fish right there. If it gets a little dirty, you may want to go to something a little bit darker. Um, trailer on there that's just got, PB&J, a lot of purple in that. That'll also work in clean water, but when I get a little more stained water, I want some purple or some black in there, to try to make sure the fish are seeing those baits. I feel like those are things that you guys can go out there and be, successful with, um, and catch some fish, and if it gets tough,
Mm.
old Neddy, he can pull out old Uncle Ned, the old Ned rig.
Ned rig, not the A rig.
The old Ned
Well,
rig.
you probably pull out the A rig
I
too,
do have the
something.
A rig tied on. I didn't catch fish on it, right?
You'd be proud of me because I tied an A rig on today.
Let's go.
Did not get a bite. But the cool thing was, dude, I've seen a lot of bait. There is a lot of bait moving. There's a lot of bait shallow. There's a lot of bait deep, but I'm still seeing bait balls. And I put 4 different colors on there. I ran it slow, ran it fast, but different lake. I'm not saying you can't do that tomorrow. Um, but I did not get a no luck on the A rig either. But you said you pre-fished the A rig and didn't get a bite either.
Yeah, I didn't throw it a ton just because I was around so much timber. I ended up putting it up and threw just a sonar minnow down there, the new one that Duckett has out. Um, it's pretty good.
Mhm.
What was interesting for me, now I'm not a great live scope person. Um, Good enough to catch a fish if it's moving away from me, essentially. It's hard for me to catch fish moving towards me. I don't know if my presentation or what, but what I noticed for sure was if those fish were 20 to 30 foot down,
Mhm.
it's like I was going to catch that fish. If they were higher than that, it was really hard for me to get them to want to follow a bait or commit. Um, so me and old Daryl Hill was out there. He watched me catch a couple of them in person there. So I may try a little bit of that early. I don't feel confident enough to go do that all day.
Did I hear Daryl caught a donkey in practice?
Daryl's been catching some fish on Greers. I will say that he's got something figured out. I'm not going to give his secrets away.
Yeah.
It's pretty unique. We've had one angler here previously that did this little thing that Daryl does, and also had a lot of success. When they fished with us. So, um, I think he's probably going to do well. Of course, this is Dave Hokut's backyard. Uh, he could be, somebody that definitely makes an impact tomorrow. I old Eric Morris, you get Eric Morris in the spring, he gonna catch some fish, baby.
Hey,
Uh,
Eric Morris coming out of retirement. That's
you can,
that's gonna be interesting to watch, Eric.
hey, I love it,
But
man.
Eric just said he only fished the southern part one time, so
Well, Eric's gonna put a chatterbait in his hand probably and go find some fish.
I remember that.
That and a underspin. So he's knows what he's good at. He's confident in it. And we're glad to have him back. I saw James Davis signed up, talked to him a little bit.
James Davis.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
gonna come back and fish with us. A couple guys he works with are gonna come out and fish as well. And I think there were two more that are gonna join us the next tournament. They could make this one.
Yeah. Well,
So
it looks pretty interesting. Most people that are commenting saying they don't really hardly fish the southern part. So it might be interesting setup tomorrow. Might be luck of the draw, might be somebody's backyard.
but
So
I think I'm gonna be interested to see what wins it. And what I mean by that is smallmouth,
mm,
largemouth. Are there some Kentuckys thrown into the mix bag? Because I will tell you, I did
mhm.
catch a big Kentucky in practice and was pretty shocked.
We caught a big Kentucky today.
Yeah.
Matter of fact. So yeah. Yes, sir.
But that south end historically, just watching boat tournaments, gets won a lot with smallmouth.
I'm
There's
gonna say I know one spot over there that such and such fishes, and it usually hosts some smallmouth.
right. Yes. Yeah.
Now, the one thing I've learned is the hardest thing to do is fishing to catch somebody else's fish. And somebody could probably tell you where to go and what to throw, but it's so hard to catch somebody else's fish over there. But them smallmouth are pretty good on that south end.
So John's saying
Sincerely.
70 to 80 inches.
Mm,
We got 20 anglers in this. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm pretty optimistic right now based on pre-fishing and, seeing what some of my buddies have done out there too. Dude, Imma
mhm.
say it's gonna take 85 inches to win this thing. And there's only 20 people in there. But I really do feel like there's the potential to catch 85 inches in 1, 2, 3 spots for sure.
After what I kinda saw today in the weather pattern, I know there's gonna be a little bit more sun tomorrow, I think plays into it. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 90 or 92-inch mark.
It could happen. Greers is way better than what it was
I mean,
2 years ago even.
the sack we had today was a if you ever had a dream kayak sack, man, that was it. And I think somebody will find the 90 mark. I think 76. Yeah, I think 76 won last year. Uh, our weather has just been that's the crazy thing. Our weather's just been crazy, hot, cold, hot, cold. So I think that's why you can fish shallow or deep tomorrow. I think you can fish your strengths tomorrow because I
Yeah.
don't think they're committed to one or the other.
Well,
Um,
and there's gonna be multiple waves that come in to spawn. So even though
yes,
there's one wave of fish moving up, that doesn't mean that some of those other fish are still hanging out on some main lake points, or there aren't some fish setting up on secondary points on their way to the back of creeks or back to flats. So I agree. You can probably do a little bit of everything. Fish is straight. I like it.
fish your strength. That's all you have to do. Man, all it takes is the right spot, right time. Man, sometimes it's just man throwing it at the right spot, and the big girl just passes by at that right time. Really,
Well, I feel like we need to get you signed up because the last time that both of us fished this,
that was interesting.
we both ended up in the top 3. Um, matter of fact, that plaque is sitting right over there right now.
It
I
is.
can see it. Um, but that was a day that I threw this one and this one. And that's pretty much what I caught my fish on that particular day. Um, I'm not going to that spot. I'm going to a different spot. We'll see how it goes, man.
So big bass. What is big bass tomorrow?
Man, I think old Daryl Hill's got me topped into a 21 incher. Now, let me tell you
Okay.
something. That old boy caught him a 23 incher on the north
Yeah,
side.
yeah, I heard that.
Um, that was last year. And that's why I say, Greers, if you haven't been out there in a while, where you used to catch just a ton of like 12 to 14 and a half inch fish, I'm really not catching that many of those fish anymore. I'm catching a lot bigger fish. Um, and I'm not doing anything different. It's not like I'm out there throwing a big, swim bait or some, new crazy octopus looking bait or something like that. I'm out there throwing the same old, uh, you know, jig, crankbait, Ned rig kind of deal.
The funny thing is, I know today wasn't top water, but I love top water, and I did it. I ordered the the buzzing bullshad,
I like it.
and that thing is looks so deadly now. I threw it today just to throw it to see, the how it works and the reaction, and man, it's amazing. I can't wait for top water to come pop
Now,
off.
according to Mike Iaconelli, all right, uh, water temperature hits 55 degrees. You can throw a buzz bait.
It's true.
That's what he said.
That's what I've always heard. Like I said, it was just 62 down there today. As low as it was, I think there'll be some bug brush, but man, I think most of that bug brush is over there right now is out of water, is it not?
All of it pretty much was in practice. It'd be interested to see what we we, we find when we get to the ramp tomorrow. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. I may show up to the ramp. The area is completely blown out that I'm wanting to
that's
fish.
true.
So you might see me ramp hopping. I don't know. I got
I did
backup
that. The
plans.
last time I was up there, I went to that blown out spot, and I felt like I paddled or not paddled, but
Pedal.
pedaled 3 freaking miles to find clear water, but as soon as I found clear water up there is where I caught the
Yeah.
fish. So, yeah, it can happen. Just make sure you have plan A, B, and C because you never know what happens. But the cool thing about kayak, it ain't like a boat. You can't just motor across the lake. So, kinda where you go, that's where you're at. No, I
Yeah.
think I think it's gonna be fun. It's interesting. It's a new year, man. Be kind to others out there. Um, we're not cutthroat out there. Help each other. If I think the weather is supposed to be all right. I'm not sure about the wind.
I think it's supposed to be good.
Um, but
Of course, always wear your life jacket. Um, You know, you never know. Stuff can happen out there. Try to have a whistle in your life jacket. Does you no good to have it in the kayak and you end up separated from the kayak. That way, if you need to get someone's attention because you're overboard or something like that, it's always good. And as someone posted on one of the pages today, you know, something happened with their motor.
Yeah.
Keep a paddle with you because you never know if things are going to go wrong with your motor or your pedals or whatever the case is. Keep a paddle in case you got to struggle to get back. You have your little backup there.
As of right now, I don't know if there's any other tournaments out there tomorrow, but I'm sure there is gonna be other boat traffic out there. So just keep heads up on that, just pay attention to that. Life jacket. Um, what else? So if y'all have anything else,
Well, I was
comment on it, and
gonna. I saw the identifier come out, and now I can't find it. Let me see. Hold on.
that would help if we had the identifier. You're right.
Well, he's sending us a push notification. Okay, so the ID for tomorrow is GP4. So again, the identifier for tomorrow is GP4. So that needs to be written on something that is visible. I always like a card. You know, it's if you put it on your hand, your sleeve might cover it up, or your hand might get wet or sweaty, and then you're taking a picture of a
Yeah,
21 incher or something, and next thing you know, they can't read it. So
I've seen
we
that.
want you to get credit for your fish. So
Seen that.
just make sure you got the ID in the photo. Doesn't really matter where, just not, we don't want it on top of the fish. Um, if you've never fished kayak tournaments before, on your measuring board, we need to be able to see the end of the board where the fish's mouth is in the photo. So that's called the buck board. We want the fish pushed all the way up there with their mouth closed. So the judge is going to be looking for that. And then we need to see the very end of their tail as well, along with that identifier in there. So the orientation of your fish, the head should be to the left, the tail should be to the right. Um, and if you just, keep it that simple, I think you'll be fine. There's some examples of photos out there. Go look at some old tournaments, just type in Tourney X, go look at some old tournaments and you'll kind of see what we're talking about. But it's also always good to bring a backup, identifier card as well and a marker in case yours goes in the water. Little stuff like that happens. So
That is true.
yeah.
Main thing is have fun. You gotta have fun tomorrow with it. First run of the year. Don't get frustrated out there. Have fun with it. Like I said, as far as I'm reading on here and myself personally, the South, nobody hardly fishes the South. So just go have fun with it. You might find something new. You might find something interesting.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping some people
yeah,
that don't get a chance to catch smallmouth a lot, get out there and find them some. I mean, dude, that's just so much fun to me. I don't know. I love those. But
yeah.
you know how I am in the summer, fishing the rivers. I mean, my summers are occupied almost completely with smallmouth fishing in the rivers. So
So that's another thing, Chris brought up right there. Make sure your board is clean. For the judges, man, on mine, I just take a marker and mark that line, black lines. When the judges look at it, they can see it real well. Um, Also, the sun's gonna be out tomorrow. Sometimes you'll have a glare on that
yeah,
board, and it's
yeah,
real hard to read. Just make it easier for the judges so they ain't gotta, hey, do you got that second picture? And then you're like, oh, well, I didn't take a second picture. And then it's hard to judge that first picture. So just kind of use that. If you've got I always like to take 4 or 5 or 6 pictures, because you never know. But yes, make sure your board's clear. Everything Garrett said, make sure that's in there. Make
yeah.
sure you can see those lines in there. All right. So
Well, and something else. Speaking of that, once you take your photo, before you release that fish, hold them over the side of the boat by the
mhm.
lip. Open your phone and check the photo. I got my strap one time was over the lens, and I just took a photo, threw the fish back, went to upload the picture, and I realized I took a terrible picture. So it's always good to just check the photo before you release the fish, because once you release that fish, like I did that day, it's too late,
She
baby. She
gone.
gone.
If there's anything else, uh,
Yeah, if
yeah,
y'all
post
have
on
any
there. So
questions, throw them out there. The boundary is at the Narrows, okay? It's at the boat ramp at the Narrows, so you can use that ramp. draw you a line straight across it. You cannot go north of that ramp. You can fish anything south of that, and then over towards Heber, north, kind of towards that Cherokee area over there as well. But south of the Narrows. So get on Google Earth. If you got a question about a ramp, you can also reach out. A couple people have done that, and we'll get you taken care of.
Check in, check out.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the end of the world if you don't, but it,
No,
it is good for safety purposes, especially if you find yourself at a ramp by yourself. Go ahead and you want to use that check-in feature in case something happens and we need to send a boat to come tow you in or something. So if you have an emergency, call 911 first. And then try to reach out to somebody within the tournament organization. I think James's email, phone number, and stuff is out there on the page or on the sign up or whatnot. So, other than that, man, just hope everybody
yeah,
has a good day out there. Catch some fish.
catch some fish. You have any questions, just get a hold of anybody. Ain't got to be one of us or James, anybody on here. I'm sure anybody will help you out. So if you have any questions at all, what to do, what not to do, just ask. Okay. But the main thing is free launch, life jacket. That will
Yep.
automatic DQ. So life jacket is the must. Okay.
Yep. Must be wearing a life jacket when you're fishing and when you're in the kayak. Now, if you need to take it off to strip some clothes, just put it
Yeah.
right back on and don't make a cast. And you'll be good.
Good. So any questions? If not, other than that, man, be safe, have fun. I'm excited to see what tomorrow holds. It's the first tournament of the year. It's not the last. So have fun with it tomorrow. Don't let it stress you out. This is fun. It's supposed to be a fun thing tomorrow. So let's help each other out, be there for each other, and catch some fish.
Let's go do it and then go eat some
So
Mexican food.
they go eat some Mexican food. Got any questions? Let us know.
Out.
Chat identifiers on here. Go back on here, GP4.